Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us. It is February 9th, and we have just returned from King of the Hammers. I've got Jordan here with me today, and we've got a whole show of talking about that and some other new products that I wanted to show you guys. Of course, this is the live tech talk that we do every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we're here to talk about your favorite subject, Jeeps, building them, parts, everything associated with it. So today here in the studio, obviously I've got Jordan, but I also have Alex and Debbie here to help us out. Be sure to turn on your notifications so that every time we do go live, you get that notification and it's easy to watch us and follow us. If you're going to ask a question, please go ahead and type it in the comments section. If it's something techie and specific, include as much information as you can, and I'd be happy to try and answer that for you. Let's see what we got here. If you're not familiar with our website, I'd like you to be familiar with it. We've got a very smart search box up here, and then of course, if you're looking for information about our tech talk, we've got a bunch of PDFs and things that you can download right here in the tech talk section. So. That's also got a link to Tech Talk as well. All right, let's jump right to it. Let's talk about King of the Hammers. Of course, Jordan just got done building the Lamborghini, and it's got this stunning red, white, and blue scheme on it, which is pretty awesome, very eye-catching. In fact, somebody was telling me that there was like an overhead drone shot of all the 2x2 cars in the start line.
Yeah.
And they said yours was like the one that stood out the most.
Nice.
And looked trick from the top. So that's cool.
That's cool.
This looks like we're in tech, right?
That
because
does look
Tommy's
like
right
tech.
behind us in number 710 in a JK, very similar to the Terremoto. And he was also running in the 4400 class. So we'll give some props to Tommy Dykstra as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. We've actually got queued up a run from qualifying, which I think is pretty darn cool.
That's a good one.
Alex is going to play it so you and I can talk over it and kind of describe to people what's going on.
Yeah.
Looks like Vision X is getting a cool prop there because you can see
Yeah,
the new
the top
lights
of the
right
lights.
there. Yep, which is pretty cool. So describe what this is, Jordan.
Yeah, so this is our qualifying run. So we've already been out there for a few days. This is really like get to the end as fast as you can without completely wadding up the car, basically. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. Is drive as fast as you can without ruining the car.
Right, so this is just over a 2-minute
Yeah,
course.
yeah, it's a mile and a half. So they take you through technical rocks and fast desert like you're seeing right now. And then right here, there's some big rocks on the inside. So I got to stay wide without hitting the big rocks on the outside.
Those are big
Up
rocks.
the hill,
Yeah.
up the hill. There's
Little dusty.
Dust. There's a drop off on the backside of this. So
So
I
it makes
stay
it hard to
wide.
see, yep.
And then as soon as I can see again, throttle down the hill. Don't clip that big rock. There's another little drop right there. This is some big 2-track, so you want to make sure you don't come in too hot and roll coming into that corner.
Pretty easy to do, right?
It's pretty easy to do with that deep 2-track. I stayed way outside on this hill because there was some ledges being built up right there. That was the most popular line of the day. Rather than going up the big rock face, it's just a lot safer.
Yep.
And then of course this, you're dealing with shadows. There's a big rock sticking out of the wall right there. So I kind of tiptoed, and then probably a 6-foot drop that I jumped off
Right there. Yep.
And then again, more ruts, so you got to be careful coming into that corner, not to dump it on the lid.
And then
jump,
stand on it.
stand on it, all the way through, power through the corner. And then this was a little bit of a tricky one. A lot of people had issues with this coming through this arch.
It's blind.
It's a blind corner. You're coming in at 40 or 50 miles an hour, and there's a giant, I don't know if you guys saw that giant rock on the driver's side, so you want to make sure you don't clip that, but you also don't want to jump over the top into that berm on the passenger side, which you guys can see that I was just barely off of my line to the passenger side, which is the side you want to be off on, by the way.
If you're going to be anything.
If you're going to be off,
otherwise
make sure you don't
it's a
hit that rock.
showstopper. and then over the jump and into the finish
That's-
line. So
and
that's
that's
where
the
the time ends.
Yeah, that's the
So
finish.
pretty cool.
Again,
Pretty
smooth,
cool.
smooth run, pretty uneventful, which is how I like it.
Yep. And then you come back in.
So that
So
was
why don't we go back to us, Alex, and Deb? Do we have any questions?
Yeah, we've got a viewer question. VB Tom asked, what PSI did Jordan find was best for sand and rocks?
Tires, I'm assuming they're talking about.
Yes.
And I typically run 25 to 28 psi
Cold.
on the race car
Right,
cold.
yeah.
Which is usually about 27, 28
To 30.
30.
Yeah.
It depends where I'm
They,
at.
they
in that.
grow 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, usually up in that 30 range on the tire
yeah,
pressure.
good question. What else you got?
Zach Guptill just commented, didn't realize how much shadows and sunlight affect the race course.
Yeah.
It's
bad.
extremely difficult to see through that, especially when you add that element of even just a little bit of dust in the air. It really messes with you and your ability to see. So, that's where pre-running, the race is horrible, but on a short course like that, where it's 1.5 miles, you kind of memorize the course, memorize where the rocks are, and really just kind of drive and pray that nothing moved into the course. Yeah. But no, shadows greatly affect your ability to see, especially at a rate of speed like that.
All day long, people rolled it, hit stuff. I mean, there were
a lot of damage.
A lot of damage,
There's
yeah.
a lot of damage.
So you've got to be very careful because you've only got like a day before the race. So if you damage the car here, you really don't have much time to recover.
Yeah.
And we're very focused on Jordan getting a good quick lap time. Yeah. By the way, at that time of the day when he did that, he qualified 3rd fastest. Yeah. And we should explain, this qualifying is not to be in the race. This is for the start position on race day.
Yeah.
So it's important. It gets you with the faster people up toward the front. So you're evenly matched, so to speak.
With
right?
people of your speed.
Your speed. So that way you're not coming up on them and eating dust, and you kind of stay where you're supposed to be. Yeah. Now on race day, as we saw, people started falling out in the first few miles. So those are easy passes. Just getting going there. Yeah. So
qualifying's fun. It's a lot of pressure, but it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's talk about what else have we got, Alex, right now on the King of the Hammers. We've got. Here we go. Okay, so we got. It takes a giant crew, and this is about 50 people. Of course, Mickey Thompson is our title sponsor, and we lined up for our team picture over there. Really, everybody on this crew has a job. It takes about 10 to 12 people in each pit, and there were 3 different pit stops. Yep. So that's pretty important. You visit each of those pits multiple times. So everybody doing their job there is important. A lot of people need to know. I mean, it's everything from somebody handing the driver and the co-driver of water to somebody holding a fire extinguisher to very technical mechanical people that change parts. Yeah. So I just wanted to show everybody that we bring a semi full of parts and a lot of people to make this happen. I don't think we had a picture of our pit garage tent. I don't know that we found that.
I don't think so.
So that's fine.
We've got a couple of questions.
Sure. Yeah.
Joe Mink asked, how much does the course change after lap 1?
A lot. Even so, I raced UTV for Honda on Thursday, and even from Thursday to Saturday, the course lap 1 changed a ridiculous amount. Yeah. Like it was the worst. When I say worst, I mean harshest and beat lap 1 that we have ever had.
And you pre-ran it the previous Thursday in the Terremoto.
Yeah, so I ran lap 1 3 times pre-running before race day. So I ran it 3 times, then I raced it in the UTV on Wednesday, and then I raced it in the big car. So I I mean, I've run lap 1 5 times now, and it hasn't gotten
Any better.
any better.
Yeah. I know somebody asked Jeff if he wanted to go back out there, and he's like, "No, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
It was bad.
So it looks like
was
Mom's
bad.
got more over there.
Deidre Kearns, how did you feel in the rocks? We usually see you comfortable in the rocks. Was there any one section over another that was a bit more challenging for you?
This year, so I was still kind of trying to get used to the car because, again, we finished the car when we left for the lake bed. We didn't have any test time, so the car changed a lot. You know, we stretched the wheelbase 5 inches. The whole front end's different. It's got a different shock tune in it. So there was a lot that I was trying to adapt to as quickly as I could to be as comfortable as I could on race day. You know, and I mean, the trails were hard. They were beat. And, but I mean, we pulled winch cable once to pull someone else. We didn't winch ourselves at all. You know, like we drove a smooth race. Yeah. We just, you know, had
so go through the trails. You know, you dropped into outer limits, you know, spooners.
Yeah. So we started. So we did 100 and whatever miles lap 1. 20 miles of desert from Maine to Spooners. Yeah. We did this.
Right? Yeah.
So lap 1 had 4 trails. We went around, started on Spooners, went up Spooners, down Outer Limits, across the military lake bed, around the backside, up Aftershock, through that Wee Rock course, down into Pit 2, left Pit 2, went up Fisher. Dropped down Fisher, Sledge, up Jack.
How bad was Sledge? Was it the same as
Sledge changed a lot. No, it changed a lot, dude. It was so much different. We got through though. I mean, so right when we turned at the mailbox, there was a car broken in the middle of the canyon.
Oh no.
So Gunner jumped out. We got him down and into that little pocket right there and out of the way. So we passed him. Jeez. And then, we bounced through down to the plaque line and down the plaque line. But
and then
Sledge was bad. Yeah. So, and then up Jack, over the hill, up Jack, Jack north, Jack back, Chocolate, her problem.
That's right.
Wrecking Ball.
Daydream.
Daydream, full of hate.
Yeah.
Daydream, Claw, Nightmare. Back into Pit 2. And again, like, just in case people don't know, so we had, I think, 170 miles of desert this year and 35 rock trails.
Yeah.
35 rock trails.
That's a lot.
And 100.
That's an incredible amount.
Yeah. So it was
pretty
quite
crazy.
The toughest
race.
ever.
It was
definitely
tough.
the toughest
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, it was long.
We got more questions.
Yeah, keep 'em coming.
James Goldman, Jordan, did the side-by-side left on Resolution surprise you, or did you already know it was there? I tried to drag it off the main lines as much as I could when I saw it up there.
The side-by-side left.
Side-by-side left on Resolution. Did it surprise you?
To be honest, I didn't even see it. So I guess that answers your question.
Mark Lawrence, what's the first thing on your wish list to change on the race car?
I've already got a full list of things that
we made 40
we're going to revise.
items.
Of things we're going to revise. I mean, all little things. You know, it's going to start with replacing certain parts, but
for the most part, the car was good.
The car was great.
I drove it a few days before, and it was fast.
It is,
incredibly capable.
And you said it felt great.
Great. I wouldn't have changed anything on it. It was ready to go.
I mean, even where we're at now, there's not a whole lot I'm going to change to make it better. You know, just make it more reliable.
Yes.
Make it, you know,
Yes.
like
I think that's kind of the context of the question.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few pieces that we'll talk about in a little bit that I'm going to replace and change, but overall it felt
really
damn good. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And the video of you like from the helicopter looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. Steve Waterman, no BS. How did the tires do?
Fantastic. I only got one flat, and it's because if anyone knows Jack Back the trail, on lap 3 when we were coming up Jack back
In the dark.
like dark,
Pitch black.
like 9 o'clock at night, dark. There was a car broken right on the first ledge on Jack back. So what we ended up having to do to get around and if you guys don't know Jack back, there's the trail, and it's the width of a car, and then there's cliffs on both sides, like 1,000-foot cliffs, and like no one dares go down, go down there. I wouldn't even walk down there to go take a piss. So there was a car broken in the main line, and I ended up having to pull up behind this car, back down the side of the mountain, and then scale the side of the mountain through all these loose boulders to get around this car. And it was literally, I can't even say the word, but
it was sketchy.
I thought that might be the end. It was the sketchiest thing I've ever done in the dark. I can't even see around me. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. And going back up around this car, I did get a flat. So
you're driving through boulders that have never been driven through,
and
right?
you can't even see.
Yeah.
Like literally, I mean, regardless, like our lights are literally pointed in the sky. I got nothing.
Yeah.
So I did get a flat. I got a driver front flat going around this car on the side of the mountain. So we got to the top, changed the tire, and moved on our way. But that was it.
But
yeah.
the rest
and that
of
was
the time,
even the whole week. That was the only
they did
flat.
amazing.
Yeah. The tires looked really good.
They're great. Yeah, they
even
look
after
awesome.
the race.
I was just looking at the car and everything, and like there's not even really any sidewall.
Yeah, when you were in the
cuts or
pit,
nothing.
I was checking the inside and the outside sidewalls, and everything always looked great.
Yeah.
So, yep. What do you got?
Scott Ottle, despite the issues, did your car perform as you expected? Is it a KOH race winning platform?
I would say so. I mean, seriously, guys, if we didn't have the issues we had, we very well could have. You know, the problem was we had issues early in the day, and then by the time we got to lap 3, it was we started lap 3 in the dark.
Yeah.
So, you know, then I'm dealing with already being in the car for 10 hours. I'm beat, gunner's beat. Now it's dark, and now there's even more broken cars in the middle of the trails that we got to figure
scattered
out
all
how to
over.
get around.
Yeah.
You know, so that greatly delays the speed we can
And
drive.
I'll give you an idea. Most of the time when they leave pit 2, it was 45 minutes till they would come back. Well, in the dark, that turns into 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a big difference.
You just got to be a lot more careful. And
Yeah.
you know, and like for me personally, I'm like, I don't want to wreck the car out here because now it's dark, it's cold. If we jack something up, the race is still going on.
Right.
So we're going to be out here cold, freezing our butts off.
until somebody can get out there
someone can
after
get
the
out.
course is closed.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like, it's just one of those bad situations you don't want to be in. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What other questions you got, Deb?
Esther Parrott Newcomb would like to know, what is a good location to catch part of the race? Cougar Buttes, Chocolate Thunder, or somewhere else?
So let's
It depends on how far you want to go.
Yeah,
You know, like
this is 30 miles away.
Yeah.
This is Cougar Buttes, and you
Yeah.
can see there's a lot of people out here. It's pretty cool because the cars come through, they like wind their way through, and there's action in here.
Yeah.
People are passing, people are rolling, they're getting stuck. Like
Yeah.
there's quite a bit.
surprisingly, there is a lot of action. in
Yeah,
Cougar
and the
Buttes.
cars drive right next to the people. This is the path right there. So you're very close to the action.
Cougar Buttes is a really cool place to watch because you can see a lot of the cars. And again, this is early in the race, so there's still a lot of cars running.
Yes.
You know, so there's if you want to see 100 cars, this is your best chance.
Well, and Turkey Claw. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
went over to Turkey Claw.
A lot of people went over Turkey Claw, but that's the problem is you see them for 50 feet and then they turn the
And
corner
they're
and they're
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
You know, here you can see them for a good couple
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
You know.
Yep. And that was the average time through here. It
yeah.
was 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it really depends on what you're going to, if you don't mind driving, you know, 30 minutes outside of Hammertown, then this is a great place to watch,
Yeah.
you know. And you're already out here, you can run into town on your way out and
Yeah.
get food or gas or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. The next probably most popular spot would be that whole Idle Issues, Her Problems, and
Yeah.
Chocolate Thunder
Yeah.
section, right?
Yeah, I would say that would be the next.
Because that's on lap 2, where this is lap 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lap 2 and 3.
Yeah.
you
Yeah. That's
know?
right.
So, yeah, chocolate, Yeah, those are all good places to watch. I saw people up on Daydream. I saw people kind of up on Clawhammer. Like there was actually people there. Granted, I don't know if they're supposed to be there, but I saw people
And
there.
there was a lot of people gathered over by Backdoor too, even though not that many people ran down it. So.
Yeah, but still, you get to see the cars buzz down in the sand, and you know, there's
kind of a
there's
cool
a lot of
section.
cool places to watch.
So, Jordy, Brian Boudreau would like to know if you're planning on any other races this year or just shooting for Hammers 23.
We were just talking about that earlier. Yeah, we'll probably do some more Ultra 4 West races this year. It's really just going to depend on getting the parts we need to get the car back up and running, how long that takes, and what the next race is.
Yeah.
You know, once that's done. But we still got things like shock tune. We got to go get a chassis dynoed. So there are other things.
In addition to this, so we're actually there now. So let's talk about this.
Yeah. So.
So you came into pit 1.
The second time. So after hitting Cougar, after 80 miles of desert.
You guys come in saying, we hear a noise.
We came into pit 1. I heard a little clunk in the front end. The car was still driving fine, but heard a little clunk in the front end, so I just pulled in to have them check it out. We were already planning on taking fuel here, so it was already a planned stop. And they're like, yeah, no. Front
Yeah,
end's-
when you came in, I saw this shaft flopping around. The boot was pulled back, you know, bouncing around.
So
Ed Gladden asked, what do you think made that break?
Well,
What do you think caused it?
You on it?
Hoover can zoom in, yeah. Show them what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, so it's supposed to look like that. This is, for those of you that don't know, this is the stub shaft going into the portal. So on these splines is where our upper portal gear is, and then this flange is what our CV.
And I think I have a picture.
What our CV bolts
yeah,
do.
so it comes in right here on the back side of the box, and then that transfers on a gear down to this drive part. I think I had. So, okay, so we identified it there in pit 1, which is that.
We had to take the axle out. In
So
pit
you
1.
3-wheel drive all the way to here, right?
Yeah, so we got all the way back to Maine where we had the parts.
Yep.
Then we really,
Which we weren't sure we had the parts, so
Yeah.
that was a little interesting. And these were a couple of shots just of everybody working on the stuff.
Yeah.
So here you can see they've got the whole portal off.
Yeah.
And they're trying to clean things up. And here's I think this is the new one or something.
Yeah. So to change this part, we have to pull the entire portal off and separate the cases.
Yeah, which I'm going to show a picture of in just a second here.
Yeah.
So here's the case. You guys are cleaning it out, right? Because a bunch of stuff got in there when it separated.
And everything.
And I think there's one more picture that's even better. Here you go.
Yeah.
So now you can really see what it looks like.
So we got to split the cases. This is our new stub shaft that we put in. And then we're about to reseal the cases and put them back on the car. So this was obviously toward the tail end of the repair. I don't know. Yeah, I'm over there somewhere doing something.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. But yeah, it's a.
Yeah, there was
I would say
10 people on this.
There's 10 people on
and
it.
it took a little over an hour.
Yeah.
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 So it's quite the project.
It's a timely repair, unfortunately.
Yeah. And fortunately, we had the spare part, which
Fortunately,
was,
we had the spare part.
that was a little sketchy. And then, here's another shot of you just looking at something. And then, of course, his girlfriend got in there and she was working on the boots and the grease, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody goes, "Hey, who's that chick down there?" I'm like, "Oh, that's his girlfriend, Sarah." So,
Yep, trooper.
okay,
Right,
so
so
here
that's
it is
getting it
put
back
back
on.
on. Yeah.
Yep.
Just to give you an idea what it looks like when it's assembled.
Yeah.
And again, the piece that we replaced is right here,
Yeah.
driving the top gear.
Yeah.
So.
It's quite the project to get that all apart.
And many bolts that are very important to stay together,
Yes, not loose or.
or the whole
anything.
thing comes apart.
Yeah.
So, including the brakes and the whole 9 yards. So, okay, and then there's the filling of the oil into the portal.
Yeah.
This is what I call the low altitude drop
It's always a fun project.
because the oil's thick, and they have to get this in.
It
there,
takes
so.
a second to fill.
It
Luckily,
does.
the portal doesn't take much.
Much.
It takes about 12 ounces of oil. So
yeah,
it's,
so just
it's,
shy of a quart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So.
really not much at all.
Yeah. And okay, so before we talk about this, Deb, more questions right now?
We do have more questions. Heath Ironside, how long would it take an average Jeep to do all those trails?
No.
Tony-
3 days.
He said Tony's Jeep isn't average.
No.
Three.
Okay, so just to give you an idea, if we were to go out there and wheel recreationally, if you could do 4 trails in a day, you'd come back to camp at night and be high-fiving each other, okay? That's 4. Now, in the last 3 weeks, we went out and did a little fun thing that we call the KOH media run, like a pre-run. And we did 13 trails in one day. And some of us did it much faster than others, but the average time was close to 4 hours, and the last guy was at 8 hours. And that was 13 of these trails. So, and those were people that were wearing helmets and going as fast as they could, right?
Yeah.
So to do this is actually quite unbelievable.
Yeah.
To get all this in. So.
Yeah.
What else you got?
John Frost, when you had low oil pressure and change engine out to a new one, how long did that take on the lake bed?
Oh yeah, we forgot
How
about
much
that.
We
of
did
your
forget about that.
We forgot about the motor
How
swap.
much of your car did you have to
See,
take
that's
apart?
when you know it was a long week, when you forgot about the motor
Well,
swap.
I'm drinking coffee during this show because I'm so tired that I can
Yeah.
barely keep my eyes open.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was the question?
How long does it take to change the engine?
Oh, yeah, so we figured
How
out
long
that
did it take? And how much of the car did you have to
Well,
take apart?
it was a little bit more
it
complicated.
was more complicated
So
than
our
just
backup
changing the
engine was not there. So we had to send 4 people.
Not only was it not there, it was in a car.
Yes, so we had to send people back here to GenRight to extract the engine while we were taking out your engine out of the race car.
Yeah.
Then those 2 engines needed to go down to Anaheim
To get looked at.
to take 2 engines and could make 1 good engine.
Yeah.
And so it was that
It was
that
about
whole
a day.
process.
It was about a day.
Yeah.
I would
Like
say
a
24
24-hour
hours.
day,
Yeah, I would say
yes.
24 hours.
Yeah. So,
'Cause-
and it was very stressful because until the new engine's in and running, we don't know what it's
Well,
if
and
it's gonna
that
be any
was
good.
the day of qualifying.
Right. That's right. So, yeah,
So-
you literally like started it and took off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was stressful, and then that was cool. But then the next day, you took off to just go run the car and get a little seat time in it. We needed to check mileage and stuff.
Oh yeah, fuel
And
mileage test.
then-
And I ripped the rear half of the diff off.
So that was a whole.
That was
nighttime
and then
excursion.
yeah, and that was like now a day and a half before the race.
Yes.
So we're like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And
we
of
really
course,
got
all the parts that broke off the rear diff,
We
we
didn't
didn't
have
have the
spares
parts for.
right.
We have plenty of parts, but just not those ones.
So it was between pre-running, then changing the engine, then fixing that.
It was.
To just get ready for race day was incredibly stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of the guys worked on the car while Jordan was racing the UTV. So yeah, it was not.
It was quite the week.
Yes.
It was quite the week.
Okay. Deb, more questions right now, or should we continue on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Jordan has the mishap out in pit 1. No problem. We find the spare parts. The crew fixes it. He gets to Chocolate Thunder, and the other side breaks.
Yep.
Unbelievable, right?
Just my luck.
Just, and by the way, I personally have been broken in this exact same spot.
I know, I
Right?
know.
So-
and before leaving Maine, we had the second one, and I'm
in the
like,
car.
no,
Yes.
well, it was sitting there on the table, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take that with me just in case.
In case. Well, good thing you did. Yeah. So now the 2 of them got to rebuild this side by themselves in the sand
With no tools.
with the
with
bare minimum of
hand tools,
Yes.
and
And you know that
nothing.
one nut's torqued to like 400 foot-pounds.
and we had to break it loose with a extension that was this long. He did. That
did.
was, dude. I was like slowly
I thought
backing
it was
up.
gonna
I thought
break.
that thing was gonna break
Yes.
and shoot shrapnel
Yeah.
into my face.
I thought so too. Yeah.
that was.
Because I was watching it flex.
I mean, if we couldn't get that loose, we would have been done.
and
There-
by
there
the way,
would have
this
been-
is I
that's-
took this picture because I came over to see what was going on when I heard he broke.
Yeah.
We have to stand outside this barrier,
That's the other thing is that a lot of people don't realize is we can't have any outside assistance.
Not even
so
a
even
bottle
though
of water.
Even though they're there, they can't do anything. I mean, they can yell at us and
But we're
talk
not
smack.
supposed to talk.
Well, you can talk smack and yell at us and tell us to hurry up, but that's about it.
And then, of course, now these two guys are doing this on live race course. So the cars are going by right here. You know,
So once I realized it was broken and we needed to do something, I pulled around. So we're actually backwards. The course goes up this way. We're actually backwards. We pulled the car off and to the side, so we're not, getting
totally
roosted or
on the
run
course.
over or whatever.
I mean, as it was, you still got roosted.
Yeah, I mean, but that's whatever.
Wasn't
So.
as bad. So, anyways, these guys had to completely disassemble this, just like the other pictures you saw right here.
Yeah.
And get this back together. So.
And we did it in almost the same time that we did it at Main Pit with
10
all the
guys.
tools and 10 people. So that was kind of cool. I was actually kind of stoked about that.
Well,
that was pretty amazing.
You had just had the refresher course.
Yeah, I'm like, all right,
an
I'm
hour
warmed
earlier.
up. Let's do this.
Wasn't it just like an hour earlier? I mean, it wasn't much time.
Well, I mean, it was
40
40 miles
Yeah.
maybe past
So-
where we just
It
did the
was
last one.
a little
Yeah.
bit more than an hour, but it was pretty close
Yeah.
after.
No, it sucks.
So I've had similar KOH experiences where one side breaks and then you fix it and get back out and the other side breaks and you're just
Yeah, that
like,
knuckle
oh,
year.
yes.
That knuckle year that you
Yeah.
had, that was.
So this was your year.
This was
That was
my
a
knuckle
brutal-
year.
Yeah.
What other questions you got, Deb?
Dan Harbold, are you going to run portals again next year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
We just got to tweak the parts a little bit.
Yep.
Otherwise, this was actually the first time this has ever happened. So this is kind of uncommon, and we already have a fix for
it.
these issues.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What's up?
Mark Davenport, Jordan, with all the intensity and adrenaline of racing, do you still enjoy wheeling for recreation?
I do. I just got nothing to do it in. I gotta build.
You're
You've
gonna
got
The white
You've
thing.
got foreskin.
Yeah,
No,
foreskin.
foreshock.
Oh, foreshock.
Yes.
Oh, foreshock.
Jeez.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I couldn't remember the real name.
Thanks, honey.
But
Well,
then you
that's what
said it, so I'm like,
that's
all
what
right, I
you
gotta
call
say it now.
all the time.
I know.
Yeah,
That's because it's
it's
its name.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. Yeah, no, I gotta build that thing so it's actually fun and not rough. and
Okay,
shocks
we're gonna
falling
move
off.
on.
Oh, you don't like that?
Okay, so here's the
Broken parts.
broken parts actually in the sand,
This
right?
was the Chocolate Thunder break.
This is the Chocolate Thunder break.
Yeah.
So
then
this was
there-
the next problem.
And then there.
So Jordan comes into the pit 2. So this is after he gets through Chocolate Thunder and everything.
Yeah.
And I look back here and I see this massive leak. And I'm like, oh, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
So we identify that it's coming from the transmission cooler.
Yeah.
And Darren and I decide to add some fluid, knowing that some has fallen out, and send Jordan on his way. We don't have much choice.
Yeah.
It's not an easy repair, short of
No.
taking it out of the loop.
Short of bypassing it or
So-
replacing it, which
Right.
we didn't have
Which
a
we
spare
don't
on
have a
hand.
spare, right? So of which would have taken a lot
A
more
lot
time,
of time,
which
yeah.
we didn't have,
Which we didn't have.
because we've already burned through 3 hours of other stuff.
At least.
So we send them on.
Yeah. Dump
Okay.
oil in and keep
and
going.
keep going.
Yeah. I
right?
mean, yeah.
Yeah, just another shot of it leaking
Oily
everywhere.
mess.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess that.
That's it.
Let's. So talk about what that resulted in. So
What, the
I
trans-
added
okay,
the
so-
oil and I told you, hey, it's leaking.
You added oil. You said, by the way, your trans cooler's blown up. And I said, okay, good to know.
So I was like, if the
I
car
guess I'll
stops
keep
working,
going. Yeah, at least at least. But again, knowing things like that are helpful because then I'm driving knowing like what to expect.
Yes.
Because knowing that, as soon as we were on our way into Hammertown and I felt the trans start slipping and slowing down,
knew what was
I
going
knew
on.
exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
So as soon as I knew that, I'm like, all right, Gunner, we got to put that ATF in because they gave us extra bottles of ATF, to just be like, look, if it runs low, pour this in and hope it gets you all the way. Unfortunately, it didn't. I think we had 2 or 3 quarts in the car with us, and
it did nothing.
Gunner dumped out our water bottles and filled them up with ATF, and we started squirting it in as we were trying to go, and
Oh, because you can do it from inside.
You can do it inside the
Yes,
car. So
yes.
I'm trying to chug along,
That's
and
right.
Gunner's in there squirting trans fluid in, and but it wasn't enough. So we got to the bottom of resolution right at like 9:45, and we lost all drive because we didn't have enough oil.
So we're watching him on the tracker, and he's going 92, and then it goes to 0. And Jimmy goes, which is our main radio guy, he goes, don't worry, this happens all the time. It's normal. The trackers are kind of sketchy, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns red. Yeah. And he's like, oh, that's not good. And then right away you get on the radio and you're like, the transmission let go. We're going to need to tow back. Yeah. And then you call back and you're like, oh, somebody just came along. We got a tow.
Yeah.
So, but that was the end of this. 3 miles from the finish. Almost there. So
that was that.
Unbelievable day.
That was the rest of our day.
Yeah.
But
so this was we pulled this off the Ultra 4 site, to show the finishers.
Yeah.
So it was a Gomez year.
Yes, it was.
They did good. And Shearer had a lead, quite a lead for a long time, and somehow that.
Yeah, he rolled, and then something else happened.
He fell out of his
So.
fell out.
Yeah, he rolled,
Yeah.
then fell out of his
that's
car.
right, and hurt himself.
Yeah.
So he
that
would
was
have been
bad.
the
That was a bad
first
fall.
4-time king had he pulled that off.
God,
That's
crazy.
unbelievable, huh?
That's nuts.
So, and Blyler won it the year before, so he could have been a 2-time king.
Yeah.
Eric Miller, a 3-time king there. Shannon Campbell, a 3-time king. Yeah. So some big names in the top 10 there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, a lot of respectable guys there for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Another question, Jordy.
Yeah.
Zach Guptill wants to know how much more do portals gear you down?
1.55 to 1 is the gear ratio on the portals. So that lets me run a much bigger ring and pinion, having that extra gear ratio at the hub. So
bigger meaning more teeth in contact.
correct. Bigger, physically bigger pinion, because
Yeah.
on the 9-inch gear sets, that's the weak link is the pinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dwayne White would like to know if your car would fit into Class 1.
Yes, it would fit very well in Class 1. And yeah, if we do any desert
That's
races,
been a
then
consideration
that's
all this time.
That's the class we would be in. So
And I think it would do well.
I think it would do well too.
Yeah. You guys will see, we're going to put out some footage of Jordan ripping across the desert during the race, and the car is so smooth, head and shoulders above every other car.
Tommy Miller, he might have missed or seen it, but he wanted to know what you broke in Chocolate Thunder. He might have come in.
That.
Yep.
The second one.
Was made as one piece, now it's 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Stub shaft.
Yeah.
The stub shaft going into the portal.
Into the portal. So very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Let's see what we have. Okay.
Unless you guys want to watch videos.
And yeah,
there's
do
more
we have more?
videos.
I
Yeah,
got
let's
another
watch more.
question.
Yeah, let's
I
watch
got
more
another
videos.
question.
Videos?
Oh, okay, and
You
Debbie's
can
got
cue
more.
that up while I'm
Yeah.
asking. Steve Egbert, sorry.
Yep.
Do the CV axles have slip joints in them?
Yeah. So sorry, I'm beat. So we run what's called a plunging CV on the differential side, and then we run a non-plunging CV on the wheel side. So there is about an inch of plunge, similar to where on like a 1350 drive shaft you would have
yeah.
the splines in the
Yes.
middle, and it would slip
So there's
a little bit.
yeah.
Same thing on CVs.
Yeah.
There's 2 different kinds of CVs, and I use them both to get that plunge that I need. Yeah.
Terry Runyon said, sorry if this already got answered. Is there a better stub shaft? What do you plan to do to upgrade?
So these were used stub shafts before the race. So that is my first thing I'm going to do is put brand new ones in. And then I have a couple contingency plans after that. So if we end up breaking a brand new one, what I'm probably going to do is turn the center of the axle shafts down probably another 1/8 inch.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. So basically what's happening here, guys, is I don't know where the thing is. Oh, it's right there. So what's happening here is there's there's really no area for any kind of flex
Yeah.
or torsion of this
Give.
stub shaft.
Yes.
Whereas an axle has, you think of an axle like this piece of tube right here. It acting as a drive shaft, it will twist a lot. It'll twist a lot more than you actually realize.
Kind of like a sway bar.
Yeah, kind of like a sway bar.
Yeah.
To take that shock load.
Because it's longer.
Yeah, to take that shock load out of this part right here, what I can do is turn the center of the axle down farther, and let more of that torsion happen in the axle shaft so it doesn't affect this stub shaft as much.
Basically moving the point of weakness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say making the axle shaft weaker, but making it more springy,
Yes. Yes. What else you got, Tammy?
Let me fit another question in before you go to video. Chris Cox, do you know what caused the trans cooler to blow?
No, not really. I haven't even personally seen. We're gonna pour oil back in it and fire it up tomorrow and see exactly where it's leaking. But I heard it was leaking right between the core and the weld for the tank.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
So there's a lot of
It
things
has to
that
do with
could
the
have.
way it's assembled.
There could have, there could be a lot of things that happened. It's really hard to say. The transmission cooling side of the system doesn't build that much pressure, so I don't think it's a pressure thing. That cooler is also rubber isolated, so it's not like a shock load.
shocked.
Yeah, a shock load wouldn't have cracked it. Honestly, there's a good chance that just from the factory it wasn't a good enough weld. All these coolers get pressure tested before they leave for a certain amount of time, just like our gas tanks do.
Right.
They cap it all off, pressurize the system, and
But coolers are made of much thinner aluminum than our gas tanks are.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's like not even 16.
Yeah, if you go to weld it, it just like burns through,
So,
yeah.
Again, just kind of one of those things, just bad,
Yeah.
bad,
So you're
bad
gonna
luck.
pull it and send it back to the
I'm
manufacturer.
gonna pull it and send it back. They're gonna either fix it or replace it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I've already talked to them.
Let's play another video, okay?
This is turkey and just showing how bad the dust was.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh God, I can't even see it.
And we're,
And you're the little yellow lights.
And I'm the one in it.
oh man.
Yeah, no, turkey is this lap one, Hoove, or do you
Lap
know?
one.
Probably
So
lap
you're
one.
only 9 drivers.
I know. I'm the
And is
10th. I'm the
that
10th car
dusty?
coming through here, and it's this dusty.
So this is what, mile 2 or 3 of the race?
Mile
Just
2.
past
Yeah.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the end of Turkey's mile 3.
We were very surprised they put this in that early in the race.
Early in the race, yeah.
Now, obviously, you were with a group of much better drivers, so none of them had any trouble getting through here.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, we kind of just bopped right on through. I was surprised actually that Turkey Claw didn't change more during the week, especially with all the yahoos out there at night tearing it up.
so you're just kind of
Yeah,
slamming
just
your way
bopping
through.
through. I mean,
there.
again,
Yeah.
guys, this is literally mile 2, so like
Car's not even
It's
warm.
not the time to be bashing through this trail and risk getting a flat. So
The car looks good though.
no, it does look good. It's, you'll notice JP Gomez getting all fired up.
Aggro, right?
Yeah, he's a wild man. But
So what other videos we got, Alex? Let's see what
Can we
other
slip in a
cool stuff.
question?
Yeah, go for it.
Mark Donnelly, would it benefit to cryo treat those portal axles?
I mean, I've
Or 300M.
they're already 300M, and I've kind of known cryo treating to be more of like a friction modifier for things like CVs, to take the friction off of the parts. But honestly, I don't know enough about cryo. Maybe I'll do some more homework on that. But I mean, they're already some of the gnarliest material you can get.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, what do we got now?
It's right between coming down, idle issues or her problem.
Idle issues. Where is this? Oh, this is at the top of idle issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have the little sand hill right behind you.
Again, through a bunch of big rocks.
Yeah.
And that's, like, believe it or not, that's actually moving along pretty good because
Oh,
Is this that
Oh,
turn?
this is
That's
that
that really messed
turnout.
up turn,
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, where is this? I don't remember this. Yeah.
Because I had to do a front dig to get through there.
Yeah. I just
Look at that rock. You're just able to put right down the middle.
No, I just pushed it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. That's a good spot. I didn't even
That
know you were
is.
there, Hoove.
That looks really good.
But
No, oh, there's spectators. I'm like, where's all the
Yeah.
spectators?
Yeah.
Because I know that's close to the courts.
And then I just kind of picked up my camera and moved.
Oh, they catch them going up the sand.
yeah, and then we turn right here and dive back into the rocks,
And that was
and then we go up and over into idle issues.
Yeah, and that spot right there, just climbing up, that was pretty steep.
It's a steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
'Cause
again
we
one
did
of the
that in
things you don't
pre-run.
want to stop on and try and shift into
This
low.
looks like start line.
this is Jamie's footage, so this is gonna be a mix of
This is
everything.
this is like
Oh,
random.
Cool.
Oh,
All right,
just
so
a
we're gonna
little
have all
bit of
kinds of
everything.
stuff. Awesome. I haven't even seen this.
Super random.
So this looks like qualifying.
Yep.
Yeah. So just some more cool footage of the car.
On top of the Nicky Thompson semi, and it was blowing like 20 miles an hour. It's a little sketch.
Nice.
So that
Keegan
we,
Hatchell, Jordan is asking, what size tires did you run?
These are the 40-inch Baja Boss stickies.
Dudes.
yeah, so that's a 1350,
1350
17.
wide.
Yeah.
Their competition tire.
Yep. And we do have some of those available. We have 10 available right now. So if you want to call in, if you're interested in getting some stickies, you can call in and get those.
$1 million.
Yeah, no. But they're hard to come by, and we just got some. So
These are 300. That was also
yeah, that looks cool.
semi, and it was like blowing like a mother.
Yeah, Jane pointed out to me earlier where
The
the front
tires
tires off the
barely
ground.
on the ground.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
Just skipping.
The berm was like the perfect angle to make the car flat.
Yeah. No, it handled freaking.
And
good.
Jordan, just for your knowledge, runs no sway bar on this. So
And that was the start of the race.
that's the start of the race. Okay, cool. And then out through the desert. Some good stuff.
Where's that, Jane?
What?
Where was that last clip?
That was coming into resolution.
Coming into resolution.
I mean, this looks like
Pit.
when we're broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you guys fixing the first shit, and then that's when you're leaving.
Yeah.
I was leaving pit 1 for the first time.
Main.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Jane.
Yeah. Down idle issues.
Jordan John Livingston asked if you know what your top speed was during the whole day.
During the race, probably, I don't know.
We never looked at the GPS.
We never
huh?
looked at the GPS because we do have a
Max.
It tracks our max speed.
You have a
I
guesstimate?
probably right around, maybe a little over 100. Maybe a little over 100.
Yeah, the car's capable of going a lot faster.
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
no, the car
Yeah.
will go 100.
But you're dealing with the dust.
I mean, yeah, we went.
Yeah.
We did 110 on 3/4 throttle, so.
Yeah.
Tommy Miller would like to know who's a better UTV driver, you or Sierra?
Oh God, is she on? Maybe she
This
can
is
answer
like
that.
asking
Of
about
course she's
ORI
on.
shocks right
Yeah.
here.
Of course she's on.
Oh my God.
What's the correct
Um,
answer? Sierra's a better UTV driver.
Any other questions?
She has more practice.
I'm gonna say she is. She does it
I-
a lot more
I
frequently than I
think
do.
so. She has a lot more practice.
And-
That's a good answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost Valentine's
wife,
Day.
happy
yeah.
life.
Yeah. What are the questions, Deb?
James Goldman commented, John Matthews hit 121 on the lake bed. That's
Nice.
4580.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
He
cool.
won, right? I think he won.
I think
I
so.
think he won.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is when we realized we're broken.
Oh no.
And
yeah.
I said, not again. I don't want to do this right now. I want to keep
and
going.
it's getting worse.
I know. I think I jumped out. I'm like, all right, Gunnar, you get in and drive so I can see what's going on.
Yeah, I think I have something like
Right now you're in disbelief.
I know. He's probably saying, yeah, never mind.
He's like, oh yeah, it's not connected.
Axle, no connect portal. Broken.
So then you guys went forward and back a couple times, and I think he was trying to like,
Well, so the weird thing was, it was actually, so it wasn't like the brake on lap 1, because on lap 1 this guy was already out of the portal and just kind of like chilling in there, but this was still in the portal, so it felt really solid. And I was like, is it broken? Did the gear, did it strip the
Strip or
splines
whatever,
off?
right,
Like
right.
what? So it was really hard for me to tell what happened.
Gotcha.
Like this, if you were just looking at it, you would have been like, oh no, it's good.
Well, I remember Jamie commenting to me that he goes, it was crazy how in that sand you couldn't go in 3-wheel drive.
No,
it really needed 4-wheel drive.
We barely got it around and turned around in 3-wheel drive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So this is us starting to get all the tools out. Me wishing I was somewhere else.
On a sandy beach in Hawaii.
Yeah, I was closing my eyes, pretending that I was building a sandcastle.
Right about there.
We've got a question from Dave Thompson. Since you're Jeep guys, why not run a more conventional vehicle like Eric Miller runs?
We have.
I mean, I did forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still think that's the spirit of the class, but that's it. This vehicle is much higher tech. It's got a lot more moving parts,
which
but
obviously can bite you in the ass.
But we're
sometimes.
slowly dialing it in,
Yeah.
So
I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't get me wrong, I still think a solid axle is extremely competitive.
Well,
but
it obviously is, right? I mean, we just looked at the board here.
yeah, I mean,
right?
IFS,
solid
axle got
right?
third.
Solid axle.
Solid axle got 5th.
Yeah.
But do I think solid axle is still very competitive at KOH? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think.
I mean, all day long, Randy was up there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say a solid axle is at least equally as competitive as an IFS or an IRS car at KOH. But the problem is during all the other races during the season, it doesn't even hold a freaking
candle to it.
No, not a chance. So that's where you got to figure out, like, what do you want to build? Do you want to build something that's good at one race, or do you want to build something that's versatile at all the races?
Right.
And that's kind of where we went with this car is something that's good all around. And I guarantee. Well, I don't want to say guarantee, but this car would kick ass on a shorter race.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's just going to take us having a good clean day at Hammers. Because it's a long race. It's a hard race.
Yes.
It's a long race.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going to take a lot of I don't want to say a lot of prep, because we put in all of the prep.
Right.
Just a clean day and good
everything's got to go well.
Lots of
so
luck.
we should mention that the trophy trucks and the desert cars all raced the prior weekend.
Yeah.
Right. So they just beat the heck out of the course.
Yeah.
So that certainly wasn't helping the situation.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how anyone finishes this race, to be honest.
I know, because you're just beating everything.
Just absolutely beating on it.
I mean, Raul had just an incredible day.
Yeah, he had a great day.
Yeah.
And he was bashing his car through everything.
Yeah. What are the questions you got, Deb?
Jeremy Balke commented, it looks like you need a new chase bar on the race car. The left amber lights look like they were dead.
No, that is my reverse light. So when I put the car under reverse, that light kicks on. There's a white light that kicks on.
Yep. It's an option. You can opt for not to have that, and then it's even.
Yeah.
But he opted for the reverse. It helps when he can also turn that on independently if they're going to get the tire off or.
Well, and if someone's behind us in the rocks, and we're backing up, they know that we're about to be backing up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, for sure.
So they have a heads up.
What else you got?
Fred Blavelt, what race are you going to run this year to qualify for next year's King of the Hammers?
We were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, probably definitely that Sturgis race.
Sturgis for sure.
Yeah. Which is a short course style.
Yeah.
So the car will do great there.
Yeah. I don't know. definitely Sturgis. We'll be at
Yeah.
Sturgis.
So
Chris Cox. So this Baja Pro stickies are a radial sidewall or no?
yes, yes, yeah.
We're caught up.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add, Jordan?
No. Not really.
It's just a tough
It's
race.
a tough race.
Yeah.
We gave her hell.
Yeah.
And we'll
Do
get
you
her
wanna-
fixed up
Do
and
you want to
back
talk
out.
at all about the physical intensity of the race
Are you
on your
talking about my
body?
butt?
on your body?
Are you talking about my butt right now?
Well, you
On
got some
live camera?
burns.
Well,
You got
there's
some-
that's
I have
heat
some.
burns.
I have
That's just
some
part of it.
minorly major second-degree burns on parts of your body that you don't want them.
the chair.
That's not my body. The chair is not my body.
No, I mean the seat, like
the seat,
in
yeah,
the seat. Yes.
So
The gunner too.
yeah.
So-
So I'm actually wearing some. I'm wearing some chanclas. I'm
Birkenstock
wearing some
things.
chancla Birkenstockers. So thank you to Arnold for letting me borrow these.
Because your
I
heel
can't-
got burned too.
because I can't get my sock or shoe on my left foot. So thank
And-
you, Arnold.
Thank you to Super Nurse Tina,
Tina.
who's
Yep.
been tending to your.
Oh
Eh,
God.
but
Yeah, we can't even talk.
always-
That's the problem. We can't even talk about it. It's just so gruesome. It's bad, people.
She's been a trooper.
I have some. I have burns. We'll just
So
leave it at
kind.
that.
Yeah.
and the
Just leave it at
physical exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
John Livingston is asking, where do you draw the line between getting enough pre-running experience and beating up the car? Were
Well-
the broken shafts a result of too much pre-running?
Yeah. So most of my pre-running early in the week, I actually didn't even do in the car. I did it in Terremoto. I did it in the Honda pre-runner. I try. Obviously, we need to shake the car down, but I try not to pre-run that much in the race car because it does put a lot of wear and tear on things. And all of these parts are. Every single part on that car is
One
a ticking
off.
time bomb
Yeah.
of its
Yeah.
own,
Yeah.
So,
Because you can't overbuild it or the car gets too heavy.
yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. But just consumables like the
Yeah.
alternator,
Yeah.
like the starter,
Yeah.
like the everything.
Belts, right? The
Yeah.
belt came off on the water pump.
Oh yeah, I
right?
forgot about that too. Yeah, the water pump belt fell off during the race, right on our way after taking the axle out,
Yes.
but before changing the stub shaft.
Yes.
Somewhere in between there. It was a day, people. It was a day.
What else
yeah.
you got?
Alex Fred, I've seen somewhere IFS on a Wrangler. Are there any plans on doing an IFS suspension or frame section for Wranglers?
Maybe not a production item, but maybe
No,
a
didn't
little white
the,
YJ you'll see here
The brothers,
soon.
Brenthal brothers, they made a kit.
No, I know they did,
But
and it was cool. That was a JK kit,
is that what it was, JK?
but
yeah.
there may or may not be a YJ with something cool on it at some point.
Not the growler.
No, different YJ.
And,
a little. You might guys,
definitely not
you
a
might not
production item.
know. You might not know of it. It's a little white one. It really looks crappy, but you probably wouldn't even remember it if you saw it. But that might have some stuff.
What else you got then?
soon.
Zach Uptill, what is the biggest thing you've learned from this year's KOH? I learned I need a race car.
I've learned that I need more sleep. Just in life, in general.
Yeah.
No,
It's been a lot of work.
it's a catch, man. There's you gotta take something away positive from experiences like this. Obviously it's not how we wanted to end the week or whatever, but is what can you learn from what happened? We learned that these are needing to be replaced, for the race, and there's just
And certain parts are like
lessons.
that, right? Like we never run the alternator or the starter twice, right?
Yeah.
Those get replaced. So we've learned now that this is just going to be one of those items that gets replaced.
yeah,
It has to be
and
fresh.
And it's hard to say because we've never run these in the front before. We used to run these on the rear, so we didn't even we didn't have enough time to test to figure out what the lifespan of this part in the front end was.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like there's just you know.
So many things
There's
happening.
so many
Yeah.
things going
Yeah.
on, and you know, especially
of
with
new
being
stuff
a
this
mostly
year.
new car,
Yeah.
you're chasing stuff
Yeah.
constantly. So
Yeah.
more time would have been nice.
Yeah.
I
So
guess that's
that's
it.
what we're gonna do now. Is we're gonna put it back together, go test more,
Yeah.
and really work out all this stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the
All right,
plan.
what else you got?
Byron Roberts asked if you would ever consider racing Baja 1000.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't want to do it solo. I'd want to take some breaks and eat some tacos. So
And maybe Dad drive a little.
I don't know about that. You're kind of sketchy. No, you're a good driver. Yeah. No, really, whoever. I mean, Zoe could drive a leg. Zoe.
I'm sure Jamie would try and throw his hat in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would be cool. That would be cool.
So, yeah. All right. More questions, Deb, or can
I gotta-
click
I gotta-
on to a couple other things?
I got a
Let's-
doctor's appointment soon.
I got one more. Dan Harbold, were the portals you used the same ones that those 3 Ford Broncos were running in the EMC race on 35s?
No, those are a 4-gear portal. Same manufacturer, but a different.
Actually, unit.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like comparing a Rock Jog 44 or whatever and a 70. Like
Right.
similar but different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, we caught up.
Cool. I gotta go.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
So don't leave yet. You can go,
Yeah,
but don't
I'm
them
just leaving.
go.
Don't let 'em go.
I have more stuff. Okay. So our brand new Matrix taillights are now available. We finally got our shipment of these things, and they're on our website, available now. I saw them shipping today. If you haven't seen this, it is a really nice LED taillight, super thin, built-in side marker, built-in reverse lights. Really nice. You want to check this out for sure. Jamie, Jeff, a bunch of the guys here already have them on their Jeeps. And to go with that, we've also got a brand new 10-watt bumper backup light. These could be used as rock lights. It could be used as whatever you want. They've got a 24-inch lead on them, and these are sold in pairs. So really nice. Also aluminum with high power LED inside there. So
Those are listed.
what's that?
Those are listed.
Those are also on the website. The other thing I wanted to point out was we've got a couple of new things. The ladies, what do you call this, Deb?
It's like a
Sweat jacket.
zip up workout jacket.
Okay. Yep. And then of course the hoodie we're calling the Americana, right? Kind of matches the race car. Pretty cool. So that's also available, and some new hats that are available. And of course, we've always got the socks. And Jamie said there's some new beanies coming in. So lots of cool stuff there. The other thing I did want to talk about was high steer. We're kind of running out of time, so I think we're going to save this for next Wednesday. It'll do it a little bit more justice. A lot of people always want to know about high steer, so we're going to talk about knuckles. We'll talk about the actual steering, and we'll do that next Wednesday.
Your mic's cutting out, babe. Yep. Yep.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, and thanks everybody for joining us today. It was a long show talking about kind of updating you on KOH. It was super fun, and we're glad to be back and charge and edit. Later this week, we will be putting in the JL roll cage into the aftershock. So that's where we're at. We've been waiting to get back and do that. So we will see everybody next Wednesday.